Major breaking news. As a victim of Nigeria, I have decided to bring out and expose the kind of happenings in Nigeria that is totally unacceptable to the world, for the world to see and fellow Africans to see and hear. Just listen attentively. If you're a Ghanaian, come forward. If you're a Kenyan, South Africans, this is your time to rejoice. Hope Nigeria did not support your football, recent football, or you come forward. Do you think that when South Africans pursue Nigerians from their country, do you think that is by hate? Do you think the Nigerian government love their citizen? How can the Nigerian government that have been indicted in so many ways to be the sole sponsor of terrorism in Nigeria, killing their own people at home, how do you think they will care for those abroad, outside, like South Africa? How do they care? How will they care for those outside the country, why they are the ones facilitating the killings of those at home? Now, let me tell us something. Some of the things that the Nigerian government is doing to the Nigerian people is a kind of thing that, if you are to think and phantom it honestly, there is 100% chance of you running mad, because you can't comprehend it that the government, that its primary purpose is to protect life and properties, are the ones taking the life. Now, hear me. Commodore Kunle Olaomi, a retired Navy officer of the Nigerian Army, said that the Nigerian government, APC, is responsible for terrorism in Nigeria. That top government officials are responsible. Kaubaraje, an APC chieftain, APC is the ruling party of Nigeria since 2015, said that they brought terrorists from the Sahel to take over government in Nigeria. They brought terrorists, and after that, the terrorists have refused to go because they were treated well. And they said, if you are to go back, what are we going to be doing? It is better to remain in Nigeria. Do you know that Sheikh Ahmed Gumi, an Islamic whatever in Nigeria, said that government knows the terrorists by name? Even the government armed forces usually go into the forest with him to go see the terrorists. He usually visit the terrorists in the forest, and the armed forces of Nigeria usually follow him to the bush. Do you know that terrorism financiers are known by the government, but why their names are not being released is what I don't know, said by an ex-army chief called Tuko Brotai. Government knows the sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria, and they are in Nigeria, but he doesn't know why Nigerian government has refused blatantly to release their names. Ali Kefas, I think is a military officer. He investigated the terrorism during the useless evil regime of Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria. And after he released the names of the terror financiers in Nigeria, he discovered that high-ranking military officers in Nigeria are also responsible for sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria. But up till today, since 2021, none of them have been convicted nor penalized. Do you know that UAE brought to Nigeria 400 names of terrorism financiers in Nigeria? And up to date, more than 5 years now, Nigerian government have done absolutely nothing. Do you know that terrorists killed an assistant commissioner of police in Kebbi State in Nigeria and wore his uniform to go and negotiate peace deal with the Nigerian government? And before the terrorists left, they warned the government not to come with their uniform. That's, if you're an army officer or police officer, do not come with your uniform. And the Nigerian authorities actually obeyed. But after killing an assistant commissioner of police in Kebbi State, the terrorist wore his uniform to the negotiation ground. This is what we see in Nigeria today. Brigadier General Musa Oba was killed last year. Is it September, October? And the Nigerian government did absolutely nothing. A brigadier general killed by terrorists. ISWAP. Do you know that the major general had been killed in June 2026? He died in terrorist captivity. And the terrorists went and presented his body to where I don't know, and the government took his body to bury. Why the terrorists went back to the forest to continue their terrorism? Do you want to tell me that the Nigerian government in all this are not complicit? They are not part of the terrorism ongoing in Nigeria? Do you know that a Canadian court have actually convicted the ruling party of Nigeria since 1999 until 2026 as I'm talking to you. PDP and APC, two major ruling parties in Nigeria. A Canadian court convicted two of them a terrorist organization. This is a country that is said that their government is linked to the terrorism in Nigeria, in its own country. So how do you think that those felicitating the killings of its citizenry at home will love to actually cares for anybody in South Africa, any Nigerian in South Africa? That was bullshit. Many things have been said for everybody to see that the government of Nigeria, should I continue? The government of Nigeria, yes, this is the kind of situation that we find ourselves. Can His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama sponsor terrorism in Ghana to kill Ghanaians? Can His Excellency President Abdurrahman Chiani, Captain Ibrahim Traore, and His Excellency Colonel Assimi Goita sponsor terrorism in the Sahel? But the Nigerian government, honestly, the amalgamation of Nigeria is actually the solution, because why a government is sponsoring terrorism in its own country is because the people there are not one people. These are people that are not even combined in any way by religion, tribe, ethnicity, except no, not even language, not even by culture. They are completely different. That is why one part want to take over the whole Nigeria, called the Fulani people. Fulani people desist from ethnic conquests, any kind of militarism, because the future does not belong to militarism. A peaceful future belongs to equal citizenship, freedom of speech, maintenance of the federal character. Yes, not when you marginalize another, you decide and you tell me that you're a country that is seeking peace. Absolutely no. Nigeria needs the amalgamation because it was amalgamated on the 1st of January 1914. 100 years of Nigeria has expired. So Nigeria is an expired country, expired contraption. And the amalgamation of Nigeria, I think, is the only solution, because I can't see why the government is sponsoring terrorism against its citizenry. This can only happen in Nigeria. Brazenly supporting terrorists, after terrorists must have rendered many people homeless, fatherless, orphans, widows, and widowers. The Nigerian government, after beheading military officers, soldiers, Nigerian government will go back and call them prodigal sons. Let us reintegrate them into the military. We don't need to kill terrorists. This is CDS will tell you, oh my God, is this actually happening in the country that I exist? This is why many people call Nigeria a zoo. I'm disappointed to be a Nigerian, honestly. Ah, Nigeria. This is worse than hell. The worst place you can be on earth, honestly.